Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Hyperconscious Podcast. Alan, what is hyperconscious?
Once you understand why something is the way that it is, now you have the power to change it. Great conversations with great people and great questions are the keys to the kingdom of unlocking your consciousness.
Every single action that you do starts as a thought. When you control the way you think, you will control the way you act, and you will control the way you live. That is hyperconscious. Geographically. This is cool. So I would say make sure that pretty face is showing.
Yes, true.
They're going to want to see that thing. They're going to want to see that thing, Alan. That face. You good?
Ready?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another very special, as always, episode of the Hyperconscious Podcast. If you're listening to this, it is Wednesday. That means this is another 20-minute Scratching the Surface episode. Alan came up with this week's theme, so I'm going to let him explain it. Go ahead.
Yeah, so one of my coaches who wants to remain anonymous basically said he was trying to get me to stop trying to do everything and start to really hone in on one thing. And what he said is the fitness stuff, for me, he thinks is much more important to me because fitness is self-development. And without going into that hour-long call and diving too deep into it, basically to me, one of the primary reasons why I love fitness so much is not just to look better, but to be better. And that's what self-development is, an investment in yourself to become better so that you eventually have more to give. So all of the things that Kevin and I basically sat down and we wrote down, I have 22 things that basically why fitness is self-development to me. What are the benefits? Why do I go to the gym so consistently?
I think that a lot of people just assume going to the gym is for like the way you look, for visual purposes. But when we were writing this list, and you and I are avid gym goers, I feel like there's a lot of things on this list that I didn't really think of.
Yeah, it's kind of cool to dissect.
Right?
Yeah.
A lot of people go, and we've talked about this before, but a lot of people go just to check the box.
Yep.
Oh, I went to the gym today. Or, I did spin class, or whatever it is. Whatever your version of fitness is. Our version of fitness, for the most part, is weight training.
Yep.
I like kickboxing, and I do like heavy bouts of cardio because I'm a sicko. But, everybody's fitness goals, everybody's what they do can be different. So we don't want to pigeonhole you into just weight training, but that's our thing.
Totally.
And I recommend that for everybody because
weight training?
Who doesn't want to be jacked?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So we were at High Performance Academy, as everyone knows if you're an avid listener of this podcast. And what I've noticed in the personal development industry, and this is not across the board, so this is going to sound like a generalization, but for the most part, people who are very deep into self-development, personal development, don't necessarily consider weight training part of that. Or I shouldn't say they don't consider it part of that, but they aren't necessarily weight training. So at Brendan's event, we had Anthony Trucks on the podcast. He spoke on physiology. And I remember, and I think I've said this on the podcast before, but to reiterate because it's so relevant to this episode, Brendan came back after Anthony was on stage and he said, wasn't that great? We all said, hell yes, Anthony was amazing. But then Brendan was like, okay, I want you to write down 3 health habits regarding physiology that you've practiced in your life that made the biggest difference in your life. And I remember thinking to myself, weight training 3 times.
Yeah.
Which is fascinating. And then we got into a group. Brendan had us get into a group, socialize learning, and share each other's things. And nobody talked about weight training. Not only did Anthony Trucks not talk about weight training on stage, but none of the people in my group, and maybe Kevin, you can talk about your group, talked about weight training.
No, it was the same for me. I brought weight training up. I just think that we were talking about this earlier, and like there's a lot of fitness programs you can buy online, or like the 21-day fix or this, that, and the other thing. And it's like, I always say this. Everybody wants to like get healthy very quickly, but it's usually for like a short amount of time.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense to me, really. When I want to do this every day for the rest of my life.
Forever. Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe my goal is different. Maybe my why for fitness is different. I want to be capable.
Yeah.
I always say this to you, and this is kind of a joke, but at the same time, it's not. If at the end of the day, I don't really care what your profession is, because if the world was ending, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe you're a doctor or maybe you're a lawyer, but like in the survival of the fittest, I want to be the fittest.
Yeah.
You know, and I think the gym for us, weight training, is the proving ground for that. When I get under a heavy ass weight, I don't care what you do for a living.
Yeah.
I'm in there because I want to go to that place.
Yeah.
Like we talk about that. Like we have demons. You and I we've had different childhoods. We've had different shitty experiences happen.
Oh, yeah.
When I'm getting under a heavy set of squats, I think of a lot of things. Mm-hmm. I think of a lot of dark things.
So do I.
And it's therapy. We have that written down. We both wrote that down.
Therapy.
Getting under heavy weight, there's almost nothing like it where you can just kind of like let out a lot of emotion
Yeah.
with almost no noise. It's just through pure exertion.
Yeah. So you've heard the energy, emotion is energy in
Yes.
motion. So we both wrote down therapy, and like Kevin, I mean, I've seen you before a heavy set, like give yourself a couple like little,
I
little,
don't
like,
suggest
punches in the
punching
face.
yourself in the face like I do, but
It's not necessarily hard. It's just hard enough on the chin for you to get in the zone. And a lot of people would look at that and think you're nuts, but
which I am.
there is, so in the book Relentless, Tim Grover, I actually had talked to him on Instagram not that long ago. He was Michael Jordan's personal trainer. He talks about the dark side and how you have to use the dark side to get into the zone. Do you want to talk about, let's be vulnerable here, what do you think about before a heavy set?
One of my go-tos is my dad.
Mm-hmm.
I always think about like, oh, all right, fuck you. I wasn't good enough like for you to be around. And that's not necessarily what I think like all the time.
Yeah.
That's not like my logic behind it, but nothing gets me more fired up than thinking I wasn't good enough for somebody or something.
Yeah.
Because in that moment, then now I'm proving to myself, my intention is I'm going to lift this heavy ass weight.
Yep.
And I don't care who doesn't believe me. I don't care who's watching.
Yeah.
I'm here to do that.
Yeah, I don't care who doesn't believe in me.
Yeah, that's what
I
I'm
don't
here
care
to do.
if they judging me. Doesn't
right,
matter.
Right. And it's always like, oh, get under the weight then. Like if you don't think I can do it, get under the weight.
Yeah.
And show me. Like Julian said.
I know.
On that episode. Like, this is what I would have done. You lost the fight. This is what I would have done. Okay, get in the ring and do it.
Yeah, exactly.
You can do it.
What did he call them? Something about bench warmers or sideline fighters or something.
Yeah,
Basically,
something like
what
that.
they said is whenever he got shit after he lost, and Julian Wynn was on the podcast, was like, well, maybe you should fight him.
Yeah.
Because people who aren't in the arena don't know how hard it is. And it's really easy from the sidelines to sit there and talk like, okay, let's critique this, let's critique that. Like I was watching, was at a party this Sunday and people were shitting on the Patriots because they were losing. And they were like, oh, come on, man. Like, that's not how you do that. I'm like, Edelman knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
You know, like I saw Edelman in Boston with Tony Robbins and Tom Brady, and trust me, there's a lot more that goes into this game than you guys could possibly fathom, or I could possibly fathom, because they've been on the field for their whole life. So I just gone off a little bit of a tangent there. Let's get back to fitness. But when it comes to getting into that zone, I think some people are afraid to go to that darker place, and I'm telling you right now, like I'm that way too. There have been people that have trained with me that said, like, sometimes you're a little scary in the gym. To me, that's the one place where I don't have to be this like soft, compassionate, loving thing. And it's like my one place to get rid of all anger, all frustration. I shouldn't say get rid of, release. When I put therapy, I put in parentheses, take out anger and frustration on the weights, never on my loved ones. I think that when we get suppressed and frustrated and annoyed and life isn't going our way and we have all these challenges and distractions and all this stuff, right? People talking shit, all that. Bring it in the gym and take it out on the weights, because the weights will always be there for you.
Yeah.
And by the way, the weights don't get hurt, you know?
I had, you'll know, I won't go into detail about what happened, but last week I had a interesting day. And I kind of like scrapped what I was going to do for the rest of the day, and my natural reaction was, okay, I'm just going to go to the gym.
I know.
Like when everything else feels like it's falling apart, the gym's
the
it's
place.
never let me down.
Never.
It's never let me down.
It's always
the
there
only
for
thing
you.
that's never let me down.
It's the anchor, man.
Imagine that.
So for everyone out there who, this is going to be a good reference. You and I talk about that speech that The Rock gave to the Lakers.
Mm-hmm.
I'm anticipating this. I genuinely think that this speech will be taken down eventually because The Rock is a very fun-loving, charismatic, humorous, awesome guy. But in that YouTube video, it becomes very clear, talking to the LA Lakers, who are also savages, that The Rock does what we do in the gym, which is you put the tough times in the front of your mind and you play fucking angry. That's how you get in the zone. He said, my back is up against the wall every time, and I don't give a fuck who's in front of me. You're not going to stop me. And it's like even The Rock, the most fun-loving, charismatic, amazing person ever that everyone seems to love, has a darker side that he leverages at the right time.
I think a lot of people have that dark side, but they don't necessarily leverage it or control it or bottle it. It almost controls them all the time instead of you
using it.
Yeah, lasso that bitch, take it to the gym with you and see what you can do.
I know, right?
See what you can do. What did I think this will be good for the listeners too, especially the listeners that are listening right now and, and thinking to themselves like, I don't understand how you guys are so comfortable in the gym. What did I used to say about how I felt in the gym versus how I felt in my normal life?
So when Kevin and I first got together, this is before episode 1 when he interviewed me, he said, you texted me or Snapchat, I forget which, but you basically said, I don't understand how you're so confident, man. I feel like in the gym, I'm Superman, but outside the gym, I'm Clark Kent.
Yeah, and you said what?
I basically said it's because of the amount of time and the amount of reps you've put in.
I've been working out since I was 16. I'm 20. I'm going to be 20. How old am I? I'm 29.
How old am I?
Imagine that. I always forget.
I find it difficult to remember things I don't give a shit about.
It doesn't really matter.
No.
But I've been working out for 13 years.
Yeah.
I've been working out a long time. And like I'm usually one of the stronger people when I work out. I'm usually one of the more muscular people. You know, I've always been complimented on my body, like since I was 16.
Yeah.
I was accused of steroids when I played baseball by the other teams.
I remember.
And naturally fit for life.
Yeah.
So, but
he is not on steroids.
No, I couldn't afford them.
I remember you did a project in high school on steroids
Yeah.
because you wanted to bring some awareness to how bad it is for you.
I always wanted to know
Yeah.
why people that took them.
Whose class was that? I was in that class. I remember being like, wow, that's really cool. This is totally random.
I
but
don't remember which class that was.
You did I remember you researched like pretty deep into
I remember
steroids.
what classroom it was. It was the class at the end of the hall, but I just don't remember.
I
who
do
the teacher
too,
was.
right? It was like, who was at the end of that? Mrs. Bernard or something? I don't know. Yeah, anyways.
But regardless.
Yeah.
We'll
naturally fit for life.
Yes, naturally fit for life. I think that we'll go into this. I'm sick still. Like for those who have listened since Arizona, I'm still dealing with whatever I was dealing with. I've just got medication, so I should be healing. But I'm looking at this list and I'm thinking to myself, like, I don't have any of these things. Like I'm missing the self-imposed adversity. I'm missing the discipline. I still get up and go, but it's not the same.
Yeah.
I'm missing the zone. Like for those who don't know what the zone is, like you can't see anything else around you. Nothing else matters. You can just hear the music and you can think what you're about to do next. I'm about to lift this heavy ass weight.
Yeah.
I miss that.
I'm smiling just hearing it.
Right?
Because I know the feeling. It's the best.
And I'm sure people will think I'm crazy for this, but I miss hard cardio. I really, really, really like beating the shit out of myself with cardio. There's nothing more humbling.
You mean hitting the bag?
What I was doing before, I was hitting the bag and then I was going right to the rowing machine.
Yeah.
And then I was shadow boxing. So I was doing like heavy cardio. I just like pushing myself. I like testing myself. I like to think that I could outlast you.
I was in the gym recently with one of my millionaire mentors, and he was watching Kevin, and he's like, your friends are fucking crazy, man. And I'm like, I don't know if he said fucking, but he said crazy. And I'm like, and you were shadow boxing on the green part of the gym? What would we call that?
Turf.
The turf. Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, oh, yeah. Yep. I'm like, you don't understand. Like, there's levels to this game. Like, they are all in. And he was talking about you and Matt. And it's just like, there's something different about people who have really gone all in. We talk about this a lot, how you and I this summer basically, didn't go to the beach at all. You went once, I think. For all intents and purposes, we have physiques that a lot of people would want on the beach, but we're in the gym. instead of the beach because the priority for us is the training. And it's like, these are the reasons why. So you mentioned the zone, you mentioned focus, visualization. Like, we have a list of 22 things that we came up with in 10 minutes?
Yeah.
Like, the benefits of weight training are absurdly clear to us. It took me and Kevin 10 minutes to come up with, how many do you have?
Probably like 15.
15. I have 22. And it took us a 10-minute conversation of, why do you go to the gym? And we were like, oh my God, focus, visualization, self-inflicted adversity, push through the pain, and you get euphoric. Like, if you aren't following through on fitness, guys, it's because you don't love it as much as we do, period. Like, you're only ever going to be consistent and intense to the extent that you fall in love with your thing. And the only way to fall in love with it is to get addicted to it. It is a positive addiction. Every time I break a sweat, I literally get euphoric and I can feel it and I love it. And that is an actual addiction where you actually crave it. Kevin cannot go to the gym right now.
I can, but it's just not.
Yeah.
It's not me.
It's not the same.
It's not what I want to do.
And it's driving you crazy.
Yeah.
Because you actually have withdrawals right now, technically, for not being able to express yourself in this way.
It's one of the things that has always been there for me. Even when I was traveling.
I know.
I was on the road for 10. I've probably worked out in 60, 70 different gyms in my lifetime.
Yeah.
And I love it. I've always loved it. I've always been the guy who ate healthy on the road, who cooked his meals on the road, who went to the gym on the road. That's just who I am. Being in shape is part of who I am. It's part of my identity. It just is.
Totally.
And that's what I want. We were saying this earlier. There is no end game. Like, it's not like I'm going to do this 21-day fix and then I'm in shape and then I'm going to maintain.
Yeah. Nope.
That's not what this is. I want to look good all the time. I want to be stronger. I want to be more capable.
Yep.
I want to do Muay Thai.
Yep.
I want to do things that require me to be in next level shape.
Yeah.
They require me to be physically capable. They require me to have next level stamina. I want to test myself.
Next level focus, next
Everything.
level intensity,
So
next
if you're
level
thinking
stamina.
now, I know like Alan and I are very, very intense on this.
Yeah.
We're very, very intense when it comes to the gym. But again, if you're not doing anything for your fitness, you're selling yourself short because you can do all the mindset workouts that you want, right?
Yep.
But you're walking around in this vessel, and we always say it's a walking billboard.
Oh, 100%.
So
your work
body
ethic.
says a lot about you, whether you want it to or not.
Yep.
And this is not a judgment. This is not right or wrong or indifferent. But people are going to look at you differently if you're in good shape.
100%.
I get compliments a lot.
Yep.
You get compliments a lot.
Yeah, it's the first thing people notice.
And it's not that we're looking for them. I'm not looking for the
No, that's
compliments.
not why
I
we do it.
appreciate them so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But I'm doing this because I know I'm capable of this, and honestly, I know I'm capable of more.
Yeah.
And I want to show up, and I want to prove to myself every day, like, I earned this. I've earned this body over years and thousands of workouts and injuries and diets and
Adversity.
all of that.
Oh, man.
So maybe you don't like it like we do yet, but you're going to thank yourself for doing some form of fitness. Maybe you don't get the zone yet. Maybe you're not walking into the gym with the same song playing like I always am and thinking like, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to do. But you didn't like reading at first, I'm sure.
Yeah.
You know, maybe you still don't like reading, but you do it.
Maybe the first time you drank alcohol, you didn't like it.
Right.
It tasted like shit, but
Yeah.
eventually you got used to it. Maybe you didn't like tennis, and now you love tennis.
Yeah.
You got to give it enough reps to fall in love. Period.
It's worth it too. Like,
Oh, it's the best.
there's something about...
It's literally the best.
It is the best. There's something euphoric after a good workout where you're like, wow, damn, I did all that.
And I feel like shit when I don't get a good workout.
Yeah.
I trained this morning. I was up and in the gym at 4:45, 4:53, something like that. I was a little late, per usual, working on it. But I was in the gym at 5 a.m. And, like, I've told you this before, like, my whole day is thrown off when I don't lift.
Yep.
When we were traveling,
Yep.
I wanted to train, even if it was for 45 minutes, because I just don't feel like me when I don't. So if you want to be in shape and you want to be into self-development, it's more than just the mind, it's the body too. When you sync up the mind and body and you actually live and breathe from that place of, okay, I'm going to purposely put myself outside my comfort zone. I'm going to purposely challenge myself. I'm going to purposely lift this heavy weight that I don't know if I'm going to be able to get to it. We talk failing forward all the time. I literally say to myself, I was doing weighted chin-ups at the very end of a 2.5-hour workout today. Granted, the first hour was us recording, so it was mostly like an hour and a half. But what I want to tell people is I did weighted dips with a 55-pound weight in between my legs. And I was like, find failure. I said to myself, find failure. Like, find failure. I will not leave that gym until I fail because I know I'm going to come back stronger next time. And it's going to be, that's what I live for, man.
I think that it's hard. Personal development, personal growth, self-development. A lot of people assume that it's funny because I used to just be happy with having a nice body. And I know that there are people that are just happy about having nice minds and smart minds and capable minds. But imagine that. Like, we are this one thing. I'm going to go deep here. We are this you're this vessel. You can become the smartest person you want. You can become the most capable physically. Like, why wouldn't you want to do both?
I know.
And maybe in a weird way, becoming physically fit and capable is a little bit harder because it takes physicality. Putting one foot in front of the other as opposed to looking at a book or listening to a TED Talk. It's different. They're different avenues.
Definitely different.
But when you earn it, like when you earn that sweat, when you wake up and your legs are sore from the day before or 2 days before, like there's almost nothing like that.
Yeah, it's the
where
best.
you can just literally see yourself transform.
Yeah.
Like when we sat down with Charlie lost 130 pounds.
In 1 year.
In 1 year. He
In
looks
1
like
year.
a completely different person.
He looks like a completely different person.
Which
and more
leads-
importantly, he's happier. He's more fulfilled.
Being
He's
a different,
joyous.
losing that weight, being a different person leads to a different life.
He was 305 pounds. Let's talk about Andrew Copeland. He was 120 pounds down. I think he's almost 130 now. And
Yeah.
he's an athlete now. He's doing
Yeah.
Spartan races. Like, you can sit there and pretend that
Running out of time.
Are we?
Oh, we're actually over.
We're over by 20?
No,
20 minutes?
yeah, yes.
We're over 20 minutes?
Yeah.
My goodness. We got to set timers, man.
Yeah, man.
Really? That flew by.
Yeah, I know.
Let's talk about the zone. Okay, so there was some of the science that I really wanted to bring into it because
Do it quick.
oxytocin, you get dopamine hits, like the brain chemistry, like neuroscience shows that there's so many benefits to exercise. It's almost like if you're not exercising, you're not going to be as happy as you could be, period, just by biochemistry.
Yeah.
Like there's an actual biochemical shift when you move your body. We were meant to run, jump, procreate, do different things. Like there's something super fulfilling about that. So,
And if you're like, let's give a little cheat code here. If you're afraid of the gym, find somebody to go with.
yes.
Because that'll be a huge thing for you. If you're struggling to take the first step, message me or Alan and we'll motivate you to get in the gym.
Absolutely.
I think that so many people fear of judgment is on the list.
100%.
When you're in the gym, you can't fear other people's judgment. You're in there for a purpose. You're in there to better yourself. If somebody's going to laugh at you for trying to better yourself, they got their own shit going on.
Yeah.
Like you cannot allow them to stop your journey of bettering yourself. So reach out to me or Alan, find yourself an accountability partner, whether it's an actual person, whether you follow somebody on Instagram, YouTube, Catherine Mini But Mighty Nash. Follow
Amazing.
her. She has great workouts all the time.
All the time.
So-
and great mindset content to go with it. She's super into
all
personal
about it.
development.
Yeah, she's
Yep.
all about it.
Yep.
So I think that's a cheat code. Maybe it's difficult and maybe there's something holding you back, but figure out why that's holding you back from getting in the gym or starting a program, whatever it is.
Totally. So Kevin and I love fitness. There's so many people out there right now that are obsessed with fitness, and people who aren't into it yet think that's crazy or think that's weird. I'm telling you, there's something to this. I am happier now than I've ever been, and it's very much directly correlated to the fact that I feel more capable now than I ever have.
And you're earning what you have. You're earning being in shape. You don't get in shape by accident.
I know.
You earn it, and it takes discipline. It's part of our routine. I don't need motivation to go to the gym anymore. It's just what I do. I wake up in the morning, I listen to something motivational, I stretch, I roll, I go to the gym, and then I start my day. That's just how my day starts.
Best start to a day
So
ever.
I think that you don't need motivation to do it when it's something you love.
Yeah.
If you don't love it, then yeah, maybe you do need motivation, but maybe it's somebody there with you. Or maybe it's a dream physique, or maybe it's if I get to my goal weight, I get to buy myself a new bikini, or I get a tattoo, or I buy shoes. Whatever it is, give yourself extra why if you don't have enough.
Totally.
You're going to read your dramatic reading?
Yes, I did prepare a dramatic reading.
Because we're at 25 minutes.
We're at
keep
25?
lying. We keep lying to these people and tell them it's going to be 20.
We should have set a timer.
We don't have to set a timer. I have the time in front of me, and I told you we were over already.
Well, that's my bad.
Right.
Okay. I will read this. This is super relevant, and it's much shorter than last week, but it's a good one. All right, so this is something that I wrote on my LinkedIn, actually, I believe last year or the year before. It's called Alan version A and Alan version B. Alan version A doesn't believe in himself. He knows logically that he probably should go to the gym and eat healthier, but he's afraid to be different, and even more afraid of failure. No one else around him is really into fitness, and he doesn't want to create a mismatch in their mutual interests and miss out on spending time with the people that he loves most. He's afraid of criticism, and even if he does get the courage to start and make progress, he knows that it might not last. He's scared that he won't be able to stick with it. He has disappointed himself many times in the past with a lack of commitment to his self-promises, and he doesn't want to feel that hurt again. He thinks that avid gym goers and other people will criticize him for starting small and not lifting very much weight. And he doesn't really believe that anything will make much of a difference anyways. He's hyper-focused on all the hard work that it will take to get where he wants to be instead of the benefits of actually being there. The benefits is what we just talked about. His heart is telling him to go and get it done, but he's scared and paralyzed by fear. Now his self-esteem and self-confidence is dwindling day by day. He knows deep down that he didn't have the courage to follow his heart, and now he's unhappy and filled with uncertainty, but yet still not unhappy enough to do anything about it. He's lost, and now he's completely overwhelmed by even the first sign of the idea, and he's not sure where to turn. That's Alan version A. Alan version B. Alan version B believes in himself. He knows that he has what it takes, and so he goes to the gym and eats right for the first day. He's always been hardworking and cultivating a strong mental attitude consistently, and he always fills his mind with the most intelligent and empowering information possible, aka this podcast. Yes. He knows that nothing worth having comes easy, and so he views hard work as a necessity and as a good thing. His focus is always on the opportunity for personal growth, and therefore he has learned to associate pleasure rather than pain to all challenging experiences. He hits the gym with confidence and ends up meeting new, amazing, supportive people who also love the gym and eat healthy. When he gets home, he takes notice of how grateful he is, of how much better he feels both physically and mentally, and of how fortunate he is just to be alive and healthy. He's so excited to be growing as a person and to have befriended such exceptional and knowledgeable people. Now he has the self-esteem and self-confidence to help others too. His positive emotions and results keep stacking and compounding on top of one another, and in more ways than he ever expected. He grows stronger every day and in every way, and now he knows in his heart that he'll never give up, no matter what. Almost done. Almost done. And so here's the truth. The version of you who never embarks on a fitness journey is not just as well off as the version of you who does, not even close. And it's acknowledging that cold hard fact that will give us the motivation necessary to get up, get after it, and to never look back. The more that my body grows, the more that my dreams grow with it. Not just fitness dreams either, all of them. My relationship dreams, career dreams, financial dreams, adventurous dreams, philanthropic dreams, you name it. Regarding your fitness journey, for the listeners, it doesn't have to be anyone else's program. It doesn't even need to take that much time or energy. Just start out small like I did. And perhaps you'll be reflecting back like me one day and writing an article in pure astonishment of just how far it took you.
The crazy thing, as I was thinking, or as you were reading that, I was thinking that 4 years ago, you didn't even work out.
Nope.
So for those listening saying like, yeah, of course you like it, Kevin. You've been doing it for 16 years or however, 13 years. Alan's only been doing it for 4. Mm. And before that, he didn't work out at all.
At all.
So
it was the most miserable I've ever been when it didn't work out.
Yeah, and the reason he loves it as much as he does is because he's seen the results. Mm. He knows what it feels like. He knows what that euphoric feeling of after the gym feels like. So, like with anything else, guys, maybe you haven't started yet, but it doesn't mean you can't start. Figure out why you haven't started, what's holding you back, like we do with everything.
Yep.
Pull the curtain back. Are you afraid to go alone? Find a partner.
Yep.
Do you not know what to do? Find Catherine Mini But Mighty's page. She has so many workouts, mindset things, everything. YouTube is your friend. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Totally. The thing that I think will help you most is getting around other people that are in shape. The thing is it chicken or the egg? Because you're going to meet those people at the gym. And you have to get in the gym in order to meet those people. So face your fears, get in the gym, even if it's just for 20 minutes, and just try to get around people who care about fitness.
And if you need help, hit me up at Never Quit Kid, Alan at alazarus88. We will gladly help you guys. You know we're always there for you. So anything else?
That's it.
Ladies and gentlemen, we hope you enjoy this episode. As always, we are jumping all over the place because that's what we do. But fitness truly is a form of self-development, and if you're not doing it, I think you should start. And if you're struggling to start, figure out why. And it'll be easier to start.
Love it.
We will talk to you later.
Talk to you soon.
Bye. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much for listening to another episode of the Hyper Conscious Podcast.
Going hyper-conscious will absolutely change your life, because if you understand why something is the way it is, now you have the power to change it. If you going hyper-conscious with us has changed your life in any way, please share this episode with one of your friends, because the more people that go hyper-conscious, the better this world's going to be for everybody.
And if you would kindly leave us a 5-star review on iTunes, that would help us make more people hyper-conscious, and we would be greatly appreciative.
Thank you.
Bye.